I've always been an FCP fan, even though I learned on Avid, but FCP was something that I've been editing on for years. It's been almost 15 years since I've been an editor. I've always been told, why don't you shift to Premiere Pro, but I was just never a fan of it. So much so, Peter McKinnon, one of my favorite YouTubers, swears by Premiere Pro, and a part of the reason why I stopped watching him was because he was pushing Premiere Pro so much. So I have not really been a fan of Adobe. I've not been a fan of their software, except for Lightroom, which I recently discovered as a photographer, and I love it. Like, I love Lightroom. However, recently I've kept my Adobe account. I've continued to subscribe to it. But the other day I was just updating, and I discovered this new app called Premiere Rush. So I said, okay, let me just try it out. There was a mobile version, and I am very happy to report, Adobe fans and non-Adobe fans, that you have your one-stop shop for editing on your phone. Hi everyone, I'm Sangeeta Angela Kumar, and I am today talking to you about Premiere Rush. Admit it or not, content has moved significantly in the past few years from DSLRs to mobile phones. Today our mobile phones can shoot 4K, our mobile phones can record, so there's a lot you can do on your mobile phones. Now, of course, Android has a lot of options. There are a lot of editing softwares that are there in the market for the phone. However, there are a lot of limitations. Some are very costly, some are not very. They're too user friendly, so you don't really feel like you're editing. You just feel like the phone is doing all the work for you. Now, as an editor, I would love someone else to do my work for me, but when it comes to my tweaks and my personal signature that I'd like to add in my videos, I really feel up to now that mobile editing has been very limited. Now, coming from the fact that I do use Video Leap, which is a very, very high-end software, but what I find with Video Leap is that it's very expensive and it has a lot of limitations if you don't subscribe to their high-end plans. So the thing is that it's not like Premiere Rush is free. You do have to pay for it. However, if you're already subscribed to a lot of Adobe software, then Premiere Rush is free. For me at least, Premiere Rush was free because I had already subscribed to a package which allowed me to use Lightroom and other softwares, media softwares, right? So coming to video, if you have the money, please, Video Leap is far, far more advanced than Premiere Rush. It's great. However, Premiere Rush gives you a lot more options in titling, which of course I'm going to get into. But first, let's just look at the other softwares which aren't very great. Now, I use an iPhone, and in the iPhone, of course, iMovie is fantastic up to a certain point. But with iMovie, you have so many limitations. Like, for example, you can't edit iMovie like you would edit on an FCP or a Premiere Pro, right? You can't manipulate your timeline as much as you'd like to, like you would do in if you were on a desktop. I have found that very few softwares allow you to play with a timeline the way that you would otherwise on a desktop computer or a laptop. This is the first software which I have found which gives you an option of easy edits as well as harder edits, if you could say. Like, an editor can actually feel like an editor in Premiere Rush. With Video Leap, what happens is it's a little more advanced version than iMovie, but it stops there. The buck stops there. Yes, you can do a lot more than you could in iMovie, but the fact is that Premiere Rush is actually giving you a feel of actually a timeline which looks a lot like what your desktop timeline would, which is something I love. So for editors out there, if you want to have the authentic editing experience, Premiere Rush is the way to go. So let's get started. Open the app. Now, I've already done this, a basic edit, which is basically of 2 clips. But I'm going to basically navigate you through the application. So you click on you make a timeline like you would otherwise. And of course, this is just 2 clips that I have. And I've already played with this. I've already edited this. But you have an option of changing it from landscape to portrait to square. which is really helpful when it comes to exporting to different mediums. Then again, like I said, the timeline feature is there. Then you have project panels. Then you have options of videos and audio, and you can rename your project, and so it looks more professional. Like, I love this aspect that, it looks much more, it gives you much more. Then my favorite feature in this is the titling, like your mastering of your clips. So Premiere Rush has a lot of options of titling. Like, it has a lot of social media friendly options where you have captions here, captions there. You even have this amazing, grab your eyeball kind of like a template. So one of the things that I really like about FCP is that it gives you a lot of templates. So Premiere Rush has done that. They've given you a lot of templates which otherwise in FCP or Premiere Pro you would have otherwise had to buy. So here what I'm doing is I'm expanding the template into my timeline. And of course, people who use Video Leap would think, yeah, this is exactly like Video Leap. It is, but I feel like it gives you a lot more. This app really gives you a lot more. And here it snaps back to the frame. Like, there's no duplication. It just snaps back to it. So in that way, it gives you a very user-friendly experience, which is fun. I really like this element where you can tweak and change the titling, which of course Apple users would know that iMovie really limits you that way. You can't really do much. I really like the fact that I can do more with my edit on my phone and not worry about it. And another thing with Premiere Rush is that you can translate this onto your desktop if you choose. As you can see, there are many more templates you can play with. Another really nice feature is the elements of hearts, and the way they've kind of given you options. Like, you have 28 pages of different options of templates that you can add to your story, add to your edit, and give it a feel that you would otherwise want to. Another nice feature this app has is the subscribe button. Normally you have to go and get a PNG of the subscribe button and add it like manually to your timeline. But here they've got a template already for subscribe, because they've understood that a lot of people want to put that a little PNG in the corner screen. So it's nice that they've catered to social media posts, and I would really recommend that if you have a YouTube channel and your medium primarily is shooting videos from your phone, you could just get this app working on your phone and edit all your YouTube content from here. Given that you have multiple timelines, you have like a manual timeline, the way it is on the desktop, you can do so much more. You can even do multi-camera setups. You can sync your audio. So Premiere Rush really gives you a semi-professional feel. Of course, it's no FCP and Premiere Pro, but Premiere Rush really gives you that mobile editing experience similar to what FCP and Premiere Pro and the old FCP and Avid gives you. I like the fact that even the fonts can be changed, so it's not like you're restricted to the templates. Again, this is something that even FCP has and Premiere Pro has. And now with Premiere Rush, you can actually translate that into your mobile phone. So you can play with opacity, you can play with color and transitions and titles, and I love this feature where you can play with the color, the filters basically. So you can have Kodak and bleach. These are basically LUTs, mono, noir, and then you can create presets for yourself and save those. Like, for example, I created my own preset called dark, so I like that preset, so I created that, which is amazing for video. You can change your intensity, your exposure, your contrast, highlights, shadows, temperature, tint, like different elements. You can even add a vignette. You can even add, like, sharpen your visuals. So what happens is you're actually, what you could otherwise do for like a Lightroom, you can now do for video on your phone, which gives you a lot of power, which you would otherwise not be able to get in this level. Of course, exporting is very simple. However, one note is that your default setting is your default clips, of course, but you have to manually put other clips. I do feel that my phone got very hot when I was exporting. So one thing you can be aware of, that it does use all your processor, your mobile processing. However, it gives you options of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Behance. And that is very simple. Like if you understand, like for example, I had exported this in a square mode, so I now it's perfect for Instagram. But if I want to export it, my video to be of a live, then I will export it in portrait mode. If I want it to be on YouTube, then it would be exported in landscape mode. So I really like even the fact that it has 3 modes, because obviously everyone is just going to be posting it on these 3 modes. So I really enjoyed these aspects. Like you can have so many different, you can play with so many different titles, you can play with so many different types of typography, your font, and it gives you access to all the Adobe fonts, which is brilliant. So I would say dabble and play with Premiere Rush. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a mobile user content creator. Then this is a very easy way to do your work and not really have to open your computer. And that's really what technology is moving us towards, where we don't have to move towards exporting our files onto our desktop. So this is a really nice way. Now I like the fact that you can, if you want, export it onto your desktop. And of course, given that now that I'm enjoying Premiere Rush, who knows if now I'm going to be able to enjoy Premiere Pro as well. So this is tactically really brilliant. I love the fact that they have options of tutorials, and Adobe is really good that way. They really make sure you are able to learn about their software and about how to use it, and great tips and tricks. I love this when it came through when I was learning Lightroom. But yeah, so here it is. This is the brilliant Premiere Rush. I would recommend you try it out, dabble in it, and I don't think you'll want any other to invest in any other mobile editing software. So thanks for joining me. I'm Sangeeta Angela Kumar, and yes, you will thank me. I don't know how you will literally thank me, but maybe inside your heart you will thank me for introducing you to Premiere Rush. I totally recommend it.